Hello and welcome back to Just the Receipts. This is part 2 of a discussion that we had with a psychologist who is also a viewer within the YouTube true crime community, and more specifically, the Summer Wells community. If you're enjoying this type of content, please hit the thumbs up to like the video, and if you would like to see more and to be notified of more, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to turn on your notifications. Let's continue with the conversation.
There's also another element I want to put in here that I think is really critical. You know, my grandma used to say, anybody could be famous, they just needed a gimmick. I will argue that a gimmick that's very, very successful, very effective, is the use of animals. If you can use animals and putting forth some of your own personal self, a little bit of your personal self in the videos, that's a huge draw, and people will cleave to you for that. So for example, if I use in my videos, I'm walking my puppies. I've got really adorable dogs, and I could make a really successful channel just using my Australian Shepherds. I'm not kidding you. They are canine Americans. Don't get me sidetrailed on that. But the use of animals is an emotional token. It's an emotional trigger. So when you start incorporating your animals in the videos, that's an emotional trigger. That is something that will endear people to you. It will also keep your viewers coming. Imagine if you were fortunate enough to obtain an animal from someone whose case you've been covering. And it's a specific animal that would be special to critical individuals in the case. Can you imagine how long-term that clout, that emotional tokenism will work for your channel?
Yeah.
To keep money coming in, to keep your dry begging more fruitful. It also emboldens, I think that creators become more emboldened, more ballsy, if you will, about begging for money, asking for money. And having an animal, wow, that's really going to ensure you some long-term loyalty from your watchers, because they're invested. And that's what it is.
Could you explain emotional tokenism a little bit?
Well, that would be objects, items, or concepts, ideas. They don't have to be tangible, but tokens exist as things that would motivate us in one way or another. So if I have, let's say, for example, a game token, I'm going to be motivated to play that game because, I got a token, doggone it, I'm going to use it. I want to play it.
Right.
A token is an attractive thing to, people, especially people who have specific interests. I adore animals. I have a bigger heart for animal abuse than even human abuse. I hate to say that, but it's true. I can't watch these animal abuse things on television, these collections for that, because it kills me.
Right.
Using someone or using something or something that exists as a persuasive token, something to attract you and pull you, but even more keep you occupied, keep you pulled in. That would be the tokenism, and the emotional part of it comes over time. I mean, the more you play a video game, aren't you more interested in getting farther in the game? And don't you get mad when you get, let me tell you, games cheat. They do. Any games I play, they cheat. I'm telling. Anyway, but what I'm saying is, this token is just simply something that's attractive, that's special, that's unique, that invokes certain reactions, and emotional tokenism is just simply a tool to be able to use to provoke emotions around a certain object, thing, concept, idea, feeling that draws other people in. But it's still a token of speciality, if you will,
Okay.
that draws people in, emotionally cleaves people, draws them together and binds them and puts forward some sort of action going forward. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's something unique to you. Just
Mhm.
like an animal, someone who has a pet that they obtained a certain way may be unique to them, and that bonds people in a certain way.
Puppies, especially, puppies are a special kind of an animal. It doesn't work the same with a grizzly bear, a kitty,
Right.
it doesn't work with a cub. It doesn't work with any other kind of animals really than puppies, because we're socially conditioned, we'll just say, to understand that puppies are peace and love and cupcakes and rainbows and always happy and never sad, and those kind of things.
Right.
Puppies also grow up and throughout their entire lifetime. I've got adult dogs right now that still act like puppies and make up their own games. And again,
Yeah.
I'm going to digress and say I can make huge money off of these dogs. Maybe I
Right.
should. But
Yep. Yep.
there's a longevity to that.
Yeah.
Well, in explaining how people are drawn to other people and what makes people want to follow certain creators, there has to be more than just someone sitting there talking. There are some creators out there that have some valid things to say, but their delivery and their personality puts me to sleep.
Yeah.
Name, it's unnecessary. It just depends on who the creator is, I guess. But it helps a whole lot if they've given you some things to stay interested in.
Right.
And when we were talking about emotional tokenism, which is, a creative term that psychologists will make to describe specific situations. And in this situation, I was talking about puppies and my knowledge of the use of a puppy in a specific circumstance that has a relationship to the subject matter of the videos, the money-making videos, and its longitudinal value in terms of money-making ability. As long as that puppy's there, this is a special puppy. It belongs to someone special related to their channel subject matter, and it's going to last a long, long, long time, because as puppies grow, of course, there's going to be a growing interest in it. This is a extremely, I don't want to use unfair words, but the word I'm choosing is unfair. It's unfair to do to people in terms of, the target audience that they are attracting, because it's emotionally triggering and it's emotionally bonding. We have some statistical information out there that talks about the type of population that would be attracted to certain subjects in YouTube.
Oh.
For example, true crime. What kind of people are attracted to true crime? And why would they want to watch true crime on channels, on YouTube?
Yeah.
It could be argued that a lot of broken people are attracted to true crime. Not only through assimilation, by understanding the circumstances and wanting to understand their feelings, seeking healthy alternatives, seeking out people with like experiences that understand and can help them describe and relate to the feelings they're having. Some people are attracted because of anger, and you will find a large number of people out there expressing angry feelings that seem much more, I don't know, that don't seem to fit what's going on.
Right.
And it's because that, it's a vent, it's an opportunity to vent and that sort of thing. So you have this wide range of emotions out there, and then you put in something, an emotional token like a puppy, that's going to pull out a whole lot in a person. It would pull out a whole lot in me. And I can recognize the fact that it is a moneymaker. I mean, let's just, I'm going to call it like it is.
Yeah.
It's a moneymaker. It's a way to be able to extend the income on your channel using very sensitive, salacious subject matter and having it long-term life, having life to it for a long time, keeping a certain stream of income coming in, that sort of thing. The channel that I have in mind right now, it's a very popular channel. There's no need to really go into a lot of details, but the channel that I'm thinking of is one of many types of channels that actually made an entry into true crime using a salacious public crime circumstance, allowing herself no personal limits or no social limits in terms of, what would be covered or allowed.
Yeah.
And the more emotionally triggering, the better. This looks like a channel set up for that purpose, to make money and to bring in as much as possible in terms of emotional bonding. Having people emotionally bond, not just with the creator, but interact with her subject matter and her chatters, her public. And by and large, the females that do, these individual females out there that are creators, are more likely to be ones that use emotional tactics to keep their audiences drawn in. I'll go back to another one that I was referring to earlier. This is somebody that has had previous television exposure, and she has an emotional draw in with her stories, including one with a popular singer and some drama that went in, that was involved in there. So I just introduced a term that we really need to talk about, if you would like to, and that is the term drama.
Yeah.
We should talk a little bit about that when you're prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Well, the majority of the channels out there that I have seen in true crime are drama channels, and they don't claim to be, but they are. And drama sells. If you can't sell with sex, use drama.
Yeah.
And sex with drama is even better. But
right.
For the most part, drama is really a big, big money maker. And the more that you can bring in emotional salaciousness, the more people you're going to attract with all these different needs, these broken people, the emotional ones, the angry ones, all of that. You're going to attract these people in together and make them, boil together on a hot plate over emotional subjects. I mean, that's a great way to make a channel a good earner. I don't like the word popular because it's, that implies a good thing, and it's really not. It's sad. So drama, as far as drama is concerned, there are a very small percentage of people that are doing, true crime for the reporting, and they do it well, and they do it really good. But when it steps into grifting, and I mean, blatant grifting. Yeah. We're talking about, you might as well just write it out there. I am blatantly grifting and taking advantage of you.
The grifting.
And when I turn my computer off, I don't even think of you,
Right.
That's kind of how that all works. And, I have a big problem with drama in true crime. I do.
What do you think about the relationship between viewers, the creators, and the people who defend the creators? Like, I'll have people coming to my channel, how dare you, what's the dynamic between the three that you see?
Wow. I don't know that we have enough time to really talk about that. Well, there is again, there's so much going on. First of all, let's kind of step back a little bit. I mentioned earlier, a revolutionary change, and how COVID was a revolutionary change in terms of causing people to be drawn to and driven to more social media and online interaction. I mean, it's just been the way of survival. Another revolutionary change, a lot farther earlier on, but it's something very relevant to what we're talking about, and that is the advent of the internet. The internet itself, there's a number of things I could tell you that are no-brainers. You already know what the internet has done in terms of revolutionizing us and our social interactions. And I will argue that it has damaged social interactions in irreparable ways. But that would be a conversation for another time. Um, the type of people that interact in a social media venue are going to be people that are, again, driven by the assumption that there's a certain element of anonymity, and therefore there is some sort of, we'll just call them beer muscles. You start thinking that you are bigger and more important than you might be. So people that have those needs will interact like that.
Okay.
When we talk about role dynamics, player dynamics in a chat room, we have a creator and who actually has the smallest role in this whole thing.
Oh, wow.
But they're the most powerful, and so was Hitler.
Right.
But we have the creator, and then we have users, and those are just the basic two divisions. But we have subcategories underneath there that are descriptors of who they are. So it depends on who the creator is, what their intention is toward the channel. If they're going to be a drama channel, you might as well know you're going to need a seatbelt in order to sit and tolerate chat.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of crap going on, and people will be, really, it's no different than an MMA fight. Think about it. People will pay big money to come in and see people argue and interact and get angry and just knock each other down. That's kind of something similar that goes on here. People will support a channel, based in negativity. But as far as the chat dynamics, when we're talking about, the different users, we're talking about people that have different roles. There are moderators, there are the chatters that are actively chatting, and then there are the people that are in the silent crowd. The interesting thing that goes on with the moderators and the people that membership in a channel, have you noticed competition between those?
Yeah.
Verbal competition.
Yes.
Okay. There's a power struggle going on in there. And that is set up as a dynamic that is unfair. There's also levels to memberships. That's another intervening problem in this whole dynamic, we'll just say.
Yeah.
But moderators really kind of have the most control, and the appearance of that wrench seems to be the be all end all for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they get beer muscles from those wrenches, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that there becomes dynamics above and beyond what the subject matter is, that in itself is a whole, sick sort of soup. But people, I will posit that people that interact visibly, the visible chatters, and those that are elevated to a higher status through membership or through as a moderator, these people are interacting in ways they would never interact on a day-to-day basis. And you'll notice a lot of them are telling stories of having a lot of, sadness, broken circumstances, things that, relate negative things to one another. And they use those power roles to influence the chat. That's a whole different study dynamic in itself.
Wow. Yeah.
But the creator is, they're going to be looked at. I could start a channel today and I could say everything about myself and try to elevate myself, to whatever, I could make the scene and make myself higher than everybody else, like some creators do. I have a problem with the saying to people, you're not on my level. I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But it's saying I am reserving my role as the superior one in this whole scenario, then you're going to ultimately follow what I say. And if not, I have minions. I actually have a legion of minions that will make sure that you understand that only certain things are going to be talked about in this chat, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a big problem. To try to describe and well describe a concise answer to your question is very difficult because of those interactive variables.
So, wow, this is a lot.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not a lot as in overwhelming. It's a lot as in, I think most people have recognized a lot of this going on, but haven't been able to really put words to it the way that you're
Sure.
doing so eloquently. So
Well, thank you.
yeah, I think it's going to help a lot of people in terms of validation and just a professional calling out what they're seeing for what it is. That's huge. And of course, there will be people that are, in denial or who disagree, and that's fine. We don't
Sure.
expect 100%, on board with everybody, certainly.